Hello, friends. My name is Sue Swing with St. Matthew's Church, and our spiritual practice for today is called the Examen. During the bombing raids of World War II, thousands of children were orphaned and left to starve. The fortunate ones were rescued and placed in refugee camps where they received food and good care, but many of these children had lost so much they could not sleep at night. They feared waking up to find themselves once again homeless and without food. Nothing seemed to reassure them. Finally, someone hit upon the idea of giving each child a piece of bread to hold at bedtime. Holding their bread, these children could finally sleep in peace. All through the night, the bread reminded them, "Today I ate, and I will eat again tomorrow." Today's spiritual practice is an interpretation on the Examen, an exercise in identifying moments of consolation and desolation in your day. St. Ignatius of Loyola taught that God spoke through our deepest feelings and yearnings. Consolation being whatever helps us connect with ourselves, others, and God. And desolation is whatever disconnects us. Some ways that you can ask these questions of yourself might be, for what moment today am I most grateful, least grateful? When did I give and receive the most love today? When did I give and receive the least love today? When today did I have the greatest sense of belonging to God? And when did I have the least sense of belonging to God? To name what you're grateful for and to consider how God is in the center of it all, that is life-giving. But we also benefit from thinking of something we're not grateful for, naming it, feeling it, and appreciating that God is with us in those moments too. This transparency before God allows us to become people who are at peace with ourselves and who can therefore make peace with others. As we see our weaknesses released and healed by our gracious God, we become capable of sharing the gift with others. God's freely offered love softens our hearts so that we can free others from the cords of our own judgment. Now, this honest look inside can be done alone, perhaps with some quiet, reflective music playing. And there's also great value in doing this with someone who is close to you, doing this each night as a family. It offers you an opportunity to reconcile and make amends with one another for things that may have gone wrong during the day. It is a great place to grow empathy and understanding. And what matters most in this simple practice for all of us is to experience an environment of unconditional love in which you feel safe to own your experience and feel all of your feelings. Here's the process, just a few steps. You start with preparation. You might want to light a candle, put your feet flat on the floor, take a deep breath from the bottom of your toes, up through your legs, your abdominal muscles and your chest, and breathe in that unconditional love. And when you breathe out, fill the space around you with that unconditional love. Place your hand on your heart and ask Jesus to bring to your heart the moment today for which you are most grateful. If you could relive one moment, which one would it be? When were you most able to give and receive love today? And then ask God also to bring to your heart the moment today for which you're least grateful. When were you least able to give and receive love? Ask yourself, what was said and done in that moment that made it so difficult? Be with whatever you feel without trying to change it or to fix it in any way. You can take a few deep breaths here. Let God's love fill you just as you are. And lastly, give thanks to God for the consolation and prayer, for help with the desolation. And then don't forget to leave it there. Don't carry it with you any longer. Leave it there. If you like to walk late in the day or in the evening with your dog, this can be a mobile exercise just a gentle evening prayer. And I began the devotion today with the image of World War II orphan children sleeping with bread to reassure them that they would eat tomorrow as they did today. The desolation of that day was softened by the consolation of a piece of bread. Many of them survived the concentration camps only because other prisoners had given their own last piece of bread to these children. Holocaust survivor and author Viktor Frankl wrote of how this bread brought not just survival, but also hope and interior freedom. He said, "We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of his freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." As we practice the Examen, may we choose to walk the way with God, celebrating and surrendering to the one who knows us deeply and loves all that we bring before him, reminding us that all is well.